Okay, hello guys, today I'm going to make a really nice basic chocolate cake. So for that, first of all, I'm going to separate out all the dry ingredients in one bowl. So in this bowl, I just added 1 3/4 of a cup of flour, and in that I've already sifted in 1½ teaspoon of baking powder and 1½ teaspoon of baking soda, and you have to sift this 3 times to make your cake really nice and fluffy. Now I'm adding in 2 cups of caster sugar. This is normal sugar which you just grind so that it becomes really nice, and then I'm just mixing through the sugar and the flour. Now I'm gonna add in, this is 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. Now this cake does need a good amount of cocoa powder, that's why it's so nice and chocolatey. Now I'm just gently mixing in through all of the dry ingredients just to make sure everything's incorporated really well. Now I'm going to transfer this back to my bowl so that here I can add in the wet ingredients. As you can see, I've added all of my dry ingredients, which included 1 3/4 cups of flour, 1½ teaspoon of baking powder, 1½ teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 cups of caster sugar. Oh yes, and 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. Now in this bigger bowl, we're going to add in all of the wet ingredients, which includes 2 eggs, 1 cup of milk, and ½ a cup of oil. And you get your whisk and you give it a nice mix just to make sure everything mixes really well. Now in this bowl, I'm going to add in my dry ingredients which I had incorporated already. So you have to add it in 3 batches to make sure that your batter is really nice and light. Now I'm going to add in my second batch. And I'm just going to heat 1 cup of boiling water. Just till that boils, I'll mix in my dry ingredients. Now you have to remember that while you're mixing this, you have to heat 1 cup of boiling water. You have to add that in as well. So now with the whisk, I'm just mixing this in. This was my last batch of the dry ingredients. Now, just to make sure that I don't over mix it, I'm going to take a spoon and just, you can always use a spatula. You just have to fold it really nicely and gently. I'm just going to wait for my water. And as soon as my water boils, I'm going to measure out 1 cup of boiling water. You can see this 1 cup of boiling water, and I've added this in my batter. Now you simply have to mix this in really well. I know it looks a bit watery right now, but once you mix it nicely, it's going to be such a nice, lovely, soft batter. And this cake is one of the easiest chocolate cakes. Like, it's really, really easy, and it turns out really nice. And like, it's a basic cake batter, but today I just felt like making cupcakes, so I got my cupcake liners, but obviously you can always make one big cake out of it. That's what I normally do. But today I just felt like making really nice cupcakes, so you can make the same batter and just put it in your cupcake liners to make mini cakes. So I'm just going to whisk it once just to make sure that I've done it really well. Now I'm going to add it in my liners and bake it at 180 degrees for 15-20 minutes or until the toothpick comes out clean. Okay, now as you can see, I'm adding in my batter to my cupcake liners, and you have to make sure that you're adding 3/4 of the batter. So I'm just going to do that, and because it's a basic principle in baking that before you start you have to preheat your oven, which I already had done. So I'm going to add in my batter and put it in my already preheated oven and bake them for about 15 to 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. And just to make sure that they're cooked really nicely, you can always insert a toothpick and see if it comes out clean, then they're ready to eat. Thank you. Okay guys, so the cupcakes, as I told you that they would cook very nicely, and these are the cooked version. So you can just see how nice and fluffy they are, and I'm gonna cut them open and show them to you as well. I'm just gonna first teach you how to make a really nice cream icing, and then I'm going to show them to you really nicely how they look from the inside.